Hi, I'm Streaky. This is Metropolis Mastering. Today I'm going to ask you, how much do you want it? So I'm in John Davis's room here at Metropolis, and John Davis is Mastering Engineer of the Year 2016, as he likes to remind me. I know he's a big fan of the show. He's at the awards tonight, so good luck to him. Hopefully he'll get in 2017, or maybe not, hopefully, because then I'll have to hear about it for the next year again. But good luck, John, anyway. But John's top of his game, obviously. And a few other mix engineers and mastering engineers here are sort of high-end as well. People are always asking me, and I think that's probably why some people watch these videos, to learn a little bit more and to try and work their way up the ladder. Now, a few things that I've kind of realised over the years and that have come clear to me is that all of these engineers, all their backstories, they have this kind of 10-year window at the front where they've started off not really knowing what to do, or they've fallen into something, and then they've kind of just slowly worked their way up. They've had a few little lucky breaks here and there, but those lucky breaks have really come down to them kind of being there all hours, working really hard, working for pretty much free, and just grafting it out for that 10-year period. And then things slowly start to happen. They start getting better at what they do. They start understanding what they're doing. And this is for mix engineers and mastering engineers. I think those two are very similar. Recording as well. I mean, it's the same pretty much, all of them. Is this sort of grind out period, getting to meet people, networking. Now, these days, it's a lot easier than it used to be because social networks, you don't have to go to gigs at night. You don't have to be on the phone to talk to people. You can get out there and get your sound out as much as you can and as quickly as you can. But what I would suggest is, if you are at that stage, if you're 5 years in, hang in there, you've got another 5. If you're 10 years, good luck, it's just around the corner. The main thing is, do not give up. Keep pushing, push. If it's what you want to do, then you'll keep pushing, because I think the thing is, when you're working, doing something that you enjoy, it's not work. You're just doing it because you love it. And that is really what work should be about. When I first started, I worked in offices for about five or 8 years, something like that. And I hated every minute of it. And fortunately, I wrote off to every studio every month. In those days, no email, nothing. So I hand wrote letters. And I got rejection after rejection, and then suddenly one letter came up. And then it's like a life-changing moment for me, and I was so chuffed. But ever since then, it's just been an interesting thing for me. So I've never really had to think, oh, I'm going to work for the day, or, I'm going to stay late, and I would rather go out with my friends. I've never wanted to do that. I've always wanted to just carry on. And I think that's the thing you realise after this sort of the first few years, whether you're going to persist and carry on, because it just doesn't feel like work, and you'll grind it out for free as long as you can pay to live. I had terrible clothing, no money for cars, nothing. Lunch was a tin of soup. So, but that didn't bother. I was keen. I was just so chuffed to be working, doing what I wanted to do. And so you have to have that passion and that kind of drive early on, just to keep you moving and keep you going. Because it is hard. There's a lot of people trying to do it, a lot more now. And so you have to kind of get in there, get networking, get to meet people, get in with the right bands or the right acts, try and craft a little thing out for yourself, publicise that as much as you can, and it will happen. It does happen. You just keep going and going and going. You find your way. You find your sound. You find the crowd that you're good at. You find the type of music that you're into, the type of music that you naturally are good at mixing or mastering or recording. You might become a tour manager. You might think to yourself, well, actually, I don't want to do this, but I love music, and this looks really cool, and I'm doing that. Which brings me on to the point of, if you are young and you're wanting to get into music, or you're wanting to get into a career that you want to do, that you're passionate about, and that's all you live and die for, my main suggestion is, don't just work in a really low paid, crappy job in an industry you hate. You're better off doing that in an industry you love. And to do that, the hardest thing is to get there in the first place, and then the second hardest thing is to stay there. So you've got to push and talk to people. Don't harass people, but just be around, network, chat to people nicely, talk to them about other stuff. Just try and get in the industry, as in the music industry, if that's what you want to do, or the film industry, the same thing. And just work doing something else, work in PR, work for a management company, work as a dog's. I know people who have started in the mailroom. Well, when I was at Zomba, one person in particular started in the mailroom. He was really annoying because he was just so keen. He wasn't that he was annoying, he was just passionate and really driven. And he ended up being a songwriter, ended up doing really well. And, you know, that's because he just saw a goal, he kept going for it, he had a plan, he kept pushing, he was networking like crazy and was just passionate. But he had to start in the mailroom. The mailroom wasn't songwriting in the studio with all the nice people across the road. That was the end goal. He had to work a way of getting there, which he did, and he chatted to people, and that's how it works. And that's the same with everyone has that story, that 10-year block story. So if you've got to think before you start, how passionate are you? How much are you into it? How much do you want it? So how much are you going to give of your life? And you're not really giving your life because your life becomes what it is. So I think you understand that quite early on, and you'll soon give up. If not, you're going to grind it out, you're going to do your 10 years work, and then you're going to get to where you want to go. So keep going, and then you'll get there, and then you'll still earn no money. Thanks for watching. Please like it if you did like it. Please subscribe and leave me some comments, and I'll speak to you again next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.